Yes, students. Now we will start with the costing revision classes. In this revision classes, we will be covering the concepts of each and every chapter. That is all 15 chapters. And we will also help you. Means I will be helping you to apply the concepts in the question. Means many a times we know the concepts, but we may not know how to apply the concept in the questions or how to present the answers. Sir, how to draw the table, how to start the answer, or how to proceed further solving the questions. So I will not be solving the questions, but I will be telling you, sir, once we learn the concepts, how do we apply these concepts in the questions? Is that clear? Yes. And before we start with the revision, I just want to give a brief about the subject. Sir, what is it? Guys, costing, as you are aware, is a part of group 2. You know, na? It is a complete 100 marks paper. Yes, it has totally 15 chapters. It totally has 15 chapters. Each and every chapter we will be covering in this revision series or the marathon. We call revision, marathon, whatever different name. Everything is one and the same itself. So we'll be covering 15 chapters, each and every chapter, guys. But the first chapter is completely theoretical chapter. But let us not ignore that. Even that chapter, we will be doing it. Remaining 14 chapters are a combination of both theory as well as numerical. We will try to cover all the prospects. Yes, so. Then coming to the question paper pattern, very important, guys. See, I want you guys to understand the pattern of the question paper before going to the examination hall. Because after going to the examination hall, in the first page, they would have given the instructions. Okay, reading there and understanding is too late for you. It would be too late for you. So please make sure that before going to the exam hall, sir, what is the pattern of the question paper? So that you are mentally already prepared that, okay, this is how the question paper would be. This is how I will start my answers. Clear? Yes. So now coming to the question paper pattern, guys. So totally it is for 100 marks, means you need to attend for 100 marks, in which multiple choice question would be for 30 marks. Multiple choice questions would be for 30 marks. Sir, will there be any negative marking? No negative marking. At intermediate level, in any paper, there is no negative marking, guys. Okay. Then how the questions would be answered? Is it for 1 marks or 2 marks? Guys, there would be 15 questions of 2 marks each. 15 questions of 2 marks each, but not individual questions. There will be some case-based questions also. For example, they will give a case or scenario. Under that, they will give 3-4 questions. Yeah. After all this, I will also take up the question paper and I will solve 1 or 2 question paper. You will get an idea. But now I'm just explaining the format of the question paper. Yes, sir. So there will be the case or scenario, some story in simple if I have to tell. They would have given the story. Under that story, they will ask 3 or 4 MCQ questions. Clear? Yes. And there will be some individual questions also. Individual question means exclusively. They will ask one question where you have to answer for 2 marks. Yes, sir. Then coming to descriptive type, this is very important. Descriptive type, you have to answer for 70 marks, but there will be one choice. One choice. Totally 6 questions would be there. First question is compulsory, and all 6 questions is for 14 marks. All 6 questions is for 14 marks. First question is compulsory question, which will have 3 questions of 5 marks each. And please be careful, guys. Whatever pattern I am explaining, especially here, is as per the ICI standard what they are following in the past exams. All of the sudden, sir, what if they come and change? I don't feel they will change it in the upcoming attempts. But still, for example, if I tell this will be 14 marks question only. Maybe if they want to change, they may make it 10-4. One 10 marker, one 4 marker. Okay, but till now, under new syllabus, from May 24, this is how they have asked. 3 questions of the 3 questions of 5 marks and 2 questions of 5 marks and 1 question of 4 marks. Okay, I will just correct it. 2 questions of 5 marks. Okay, and 1 question for 4 marks. 4 marks. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Then coming to remaining questions, guys. Remaining 5 questions, you need to answer 4 questions. Out of the remaining 5 questions, you need to answer 4 questions. All for 14 marks. But for 14 marks, single question won't be there. One individual question won't be there. There also multiple questions would be there. For example, 8 marks, 6 marks, 7 marks, 7 marks, like that. Clear? Yes. Or else 5, 5, 4, like that. Breakup would be there. two or three sub questions would be asked, guys. Okay. Then when it comes to the last question, one internal choice also would be there, guys. Internal choice in the sense, assume there is A, B, C question. C question is for 4 marks. They will ask two questions there. You need to answer either under C, assume there are two questions, one or two. You need to answer any one. This is called internal choice. Clear? And please be careful, guys. In that scenario, A and B, you have to answer. In C, there would be one choice. We call this as internal choice. Hope you are clear with this. Clear? Yes, sir. And sir, out of this question, one question you will take it as a choice. One question, if you want to take it as a choice in the examination hall, you have to prepare for 100% of the syllabus. If not, whatever you are not prepared will become a choice automatically. Clear? So please don't do that, because guys, I have seen literally as a student also, if I see, means when I was a student, now as a teacher, if I observe, sometimes what we feel it as very difficult in the exam, the easiest questions come sometimes. And what I feel very easy, I am very strong in this topic, I am very strong in this subject, and that's turned out to be tough. It happens sometimes, or else too lengthy. Assume one topic, sir, for example, let us take budget. Budget, I am perfect, sir. But in the exam, they have asked 8 marks question, which is too lengthy question, sir. Maybe you can take that as a choice. Clear? I am suggesting you, please leave the choice for the examination hall. Means in that 15 minutes, you will decide what question will you take it as a choice. If you are underprepared, what happened? No, you are forced to take whichever topic you are left, that only as a choice. So please don't under prepare. Make sure that all 15 chapters you know in your syllabus. See, one thing I can assure you is, as a student, if you comply with or if you do whatever you're supposed to do, definitely you'll get the results what you want. As a student, if you try to find out the shortcuts, sir, I will skip that topic, this is too lengthy, I will skip that and all, then definitely you will not be able to get the results what you want. So just give your 100%, cover 100% of the syllabus, let us see why you will not. That is the problem with CA exam. Due to maybe for any reason, one of the main reason is lack of time. Sir, as there is lack of time, I cannot prepare for 100 marks or 100% of the syllabus, so I will skip that and this, sir. Almost all the subjects they will do like that, students. So when you are under prepared, assume you are prepared 80%, guys. In the exam, will you be able to write for a full 80 marks? Maybe not. You will write for around 70 or 60 marks. When you write for 60, 70 marks, can you expect so much from the exam? That too, as per ICA standards, maybe not. Clearer? So please make sure that you prepare well and try to give your best. Definitely you will get the positive results what you want. Oh, this is all about the question paper. And also, guys, see, this is my suggestion. When it comes to multiple choice or descriptive, sir, which one should I answer first? My suggestion is to take descriptive first. Take MCQ only later. So your examination starts at 1:45, right? So how you have to plan is that 15 minutes reading time also is very important. Don't go to the exam hall later. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. So make sure that you reach the examination hall by 1:31. Don't try to leave your home or PG in such a way that you will reach the examination hall at 1:45 or 2. Definitely you will not reach. Clear? So try to reach early one. You can go there, study or go through, or maybe last 5-10 minutes just to relax. Just to relax. So what I suggest is you reach by 1:30. Maybe you can study for some time, use washroom if required, and last 5 minutes, that is from 1:40 to 1:45, don't study anything. Okay, even so many things are left for you to study, please don't study, because what you couldn't kissy for so long, you cannot kissy there for 5 minutes. Okay, so what I suggest is last 5 minutes, just keep your mind calm. Okay, just sit and pray, meditate, or just leave your mind blank. Because next 3 hours, 15 minutes, it has to continuously run. Okay, so give rest. If required, you can give it for 10 minutes also. Okay, sir, 6 months full rest, sir. My mind full 6 months rest only. I'm telling you just before the exam starts. Take it seriously, because last minutes don't try to feed so much to your mind or brain, because it is not a machine. Oh. Because some of your friend will come in the last moment and tell, oh, this you studied, that you studied, oh, adoda, idoda, he attempt, this is pakka anta. Okay, you ask whether you are an insider for ICA. So nothing like that. No, don't give ears for rumors and all. Just trust whatever you are prepared. Just try to keep your mind calm during that last few minutes, guys. And from 1:45 to 2, please don't waste that time. Many students waste their time. They start reading the questions from 2 o'clock. Don't do that. That 15 minutes you have to read descriptive question, not MCQ question, and decide which question will you take it as a choice and which question will you start with. Start with, sir, should I start with the first question only? Nothing like that. Nothing like that. There is no mandate to follow the same order, guys. Sir, can I start with the fifth question only first? Yes. What I suggest is whichever question you know the best, whichever question you can present to your best, please start with that. Please start with that. Even if it is the last question or third question, fourth question, first question, whichever question, you start. And please don't decide it now. Today you don't decide. Because who knows question paper will come in what way. Clear? Sir, no matter what, my lucky number is 3. I will start with 3 only. Okay, don't do that, guys, because few questions will take time. And few questions, if you stuck there in the beginning itself, you will get panic. You'll start shivering. All this will happen in CA exam. CA is not only intellectual test, lot of tests will happen in that 3 hours. Clear? Hold your nerve. Make sure that whichever question you know the best, you start with that. Okay, and make sure that you know all the sub questions. Sir, third one I am starting. A perfect, B I don't know. Better keep it late. You can answer that, but later. So, guys, what happens now? Just try to understand the evaluator mindset. Assume yourself as an evaluator. Do you know the student? No. How well they are prepared? No. How rich they are? No. How rich their parents are? No. How do you decide whether they are prepared well or not? Just through their answers. And once you read, assume you are an evaluator. Once you read the first and second answer, you will decide how well they are prepared. The mindset is like that. For any human being, the mindset is like that. Yeah, if you keep your best answer third, fourth, fifth, and all, then by the time they come to that, they have already lost the patience. Yeah, they have already decided how well you are prepared. Assume for first 14 marks question, they have given 8 marks. Human tendency is like they will not go beyond 8 marks for other questions. Yeah. See, we don't know who will be the evaluator for your papers and all, but let us try to keep as safe as possible from student point of view. So please make sure that your first 1 or 2 answers should be the best, not only in costing, in any subjects. Yeah. And try to take, I suggest, try to take compulsory question little late. Don't try to answer it first only because guys, first question will be the bouncer in majority of the papers. I'm not only telling in costing, in most of the papers, first question would be bouncer in the sense they would have framed that in such a way that it will take too much time. Especially in income tax and all, total income question will come. Okay, by the time you do working out everything, you will do it, you will complete it. But how much time will you take? That matters. Because assume you ended up taking too much time for one question. There also you start getting panic or shivering. Yeah, so your hands start sweating and all. So that will not let you to continue your journey for remaining time. So I suggest to take compulsory question little later. Or else, if you are too much confident after reading the question, sir, this question is my question, sir. This is my strong area, sir. I can answer. Okay, you can take it as a first question only. But I recommend, I suggest you to take little later. Clear? Yes, sir. Sure. Then coming to multiple choice question, guys, I suggest you to take multiple choice question by 4 o'clock. Okay, this is like approximate time I am giving you. You can start by 3:45, 4:15, anything like that. In around 4. Better you keep some standard time. First 2 hours you will write full descriptive. Then your hand also will be paining because continuously you will be writing. No, so that is fine. Just so in that case, what you do is you just give a break for your hand. That doesn't mean that you will walk out of the examination hall. Okay, you read the multiple choice question and start answering from 4 o'clock. Please don't consume full entire 1 hour for MCQ. You can try to answer it as early as possible, finish it off, and straight away go to what comes. Again, descriptive question because you will be left with few questions. Definitely, you would have not completed by 4 o'clock. I told you to switch from descriptive to MCQ at 4 o'clock so that you will answer all MCQ questions. Okay. So once you complete all the MCQ questions, you come back to descriptive. Definitely, you will be left with few things. Complete it. And last 5 minutes, Even the invigilator will give you a final call, last 5 minutes and all. Go back to MCQ, check whether you have marked everything. It should be marked in OMR sheet, guys. Hope you know. Please mark it properly. Don't mark more than one option for the same question. Student do that also. They will try their luck. Sir, assume second question. I was having a doubt between A and B, sir. So I have marked both, sir. You take whatever you want. It will be considered as wrong answer. If you mark more than one option for a single question, it will be considered as wrong answer. Please be very careful. Please mark it properly also. Guys, you have to fill that full circle. Hope you are aware of all that. Okay, you have to fill that full circle. Take care of it. And even before you start answering in the answer sheets, you have to take care of few things like roll number. You have to write in number, words and all. Please practice writing your roll number in words before going to the exam. Okay, how to write it? Yeah, yes. And you need to stick the sticker and all that and all. Invigilator only will take care, but still you also ensure that they're sticking your sticker only. Okay. Yes, which is right opposite to your name. They will open and stick it in front of you itself. Oh, then what I was about to tell is last 5 minutes you will come back to MCQ and cross check whether you have answered all the questions. And if by chance you don't know few questions, assume 2, 3 questions you don't know the answer. What do? Mark something and come. Mark something and come because there is no negative marking. Clear. Mark something and come. I didn't tell at the beginning, Pawan. I told at the end. Okay. Sir, from first 15 only you can recall, because I told mark something. 15 questions, anchi minchi. Okay. Please don't do that. Okay. First answer whatever you know perfect. At the end, you have a doubt or you don't know anything about that question. Please mark something and come on. Okay. Sometimes God may help you. God may save you. Because 1 or 2 marks will make difference. I have literally seen students who have scored 145, 146, 148, passed in all 3 subjects, but didn't pass the exam. Sir, why? Aggregate. Okay, this will happen. So just imagine 2 or 3 marks extra you're able to get in each subject. That will definitely help you to get the aggregate and all. So please don't ignore, do that, guys. Fine, sir. So this is all about the question paper pattern, guys. If you want, I will also show you one the instructions which they are given. Okay, this is like May 25 question paper, guys. You can just have a look into this because I don't want you guys to waste time in the examination reading all this. In the examination hall, I will just display. Please read it. Yes, fine. We'll now begin with the chapter 1 revision, guys. Let us start. See, first chapter is completely theory chapter. Some of the students will take it for granted, but you please don't do it, guys. Yeah, because many of the things which we will be covering in upcoming chapters, we will be studying in this chapter. The basic. In detail, we will be learning in the later chapter, but at least the basics we will be learning here. And you will get questions even on this chapter in the exam. Okay, just because it is a theory chapter or introduction chapter or basic chapter, that doesn't mean that they will not ask any question. Fine. We'll begin with introduction to cost and management accounting. Cost. Guys, the amount of money which has been spent to produce the product or to render a service is called cost. And first of all, before we start with costing, sir, who has to maintain cost records? Who has to get their cost records audited? Where is it given? Do we learn that in our costing subject? No, guys. Who should maintain cost records and who should get audited is given in section 148 of Companies Act, read with rules. Read with rules. Sir, who are covered there is in simple. Two category of industries are covered. The manufacturer and service provider. Clear? They have to maintain the cost records and get it audited based on their turnover and all, which is not a part of your costing syllabus. You need not. So what I am trying to tell you is who should maintain cost records is you are either the manufacturer or you are a service provider. Now, sir, why should I maintain cost records? Because I want to know what is the cost I have incurred. I want to know what is the cost I have incurred. We will compare it with sales. Then obviously sales minus profit is my, sorry, sales minus cost is my profit. I want to present it. So for that process, we are doing all the steps. So what is the cost? It is the amount of expenditure of money which is spent to produce a product if I am a manufacturer or if I am a service provider to render a service. Then what is costing? Sir, I need to calculate how much cost is incurred. So there will be number of expenses incurred, guys, like especially material, labor, overhead, under that direct to indirect to direct to indirect, so many things would be there. Yeah, overhead is always indirect, but when it comes to material, labor, and all, it can be direct, it can be indirect. Yeah. So we need to accumulate all this and calculate what is my total cost. The process of calculating it is called costing. Now, sir, if I ask you to remember what is the cost I have incurred this year, last to last year, and all, will you be able to remember? No. You need to account for it. That process is called cost accounting. You have to prepare a periodical statement like costing P&L account, balance sheet, and all, like how you do in your accounts now, because we cannot remember what all happened throughout the year in our mind. So let us put it in the books. Now, books in the sense it is not manual books. We have various softwares, but you guys, for academic purpose, you have to write it in your books or sheets. Yes, sir. Then what is cost accountancy? So cost accounting you understood now the process of accounting for how much cost we have incurred. Now cost accountancy means what? Sir, to calculate the cost and record it, we should have certain methods, principles, concepts and all. That is called cost accountancy. Even in your accounts you have accounts, accounting standard, Ind AS, accounting concepts, principles and all. Same way even in costing, we have costing standards. We have cost accounting standards, but those are not a part of your syllabus. You need not worry. Clear? And we have costing concepts, principles also. But costing concepts and principle is not so hard like your accounts. So accounts is very stringent. Okay, you have to do this. You have to follow like this. And there in accounts you have to follow what and all accounting standard, Ind AS, concepts, principle plus companies act, and various other allied laws also. Whereas in costing, it is not so stringent. It is not so hard. It is little liberal when compared to accounts. Okay. Then coming to management accounting. Guys, management accounting is for internal purpose. It is never for external purpose. Management accounting is more about decision making. Sir, should I do this or should I do that? Or should I produce this or should I produce that? It is more about decision making. Or should I use this machine or should I use that machine? So it is always used for internal decision making. But obviously, for making decisions, we will take the help of what? Cost accounting. Why is that? Because the cost data is available where? In cost records. So using that, we will make the decisions. That is called management accounting. Now, what is cost management? Guys, what? Using the data which is prepared in cost accounts. Using the data which is prepared in cost accounts like cost data or different types of what all costs we would have incurred, cost it and all. Using that data, if I am making the decisions, that is called cost management. Using the data which is meant or which is recorded under the cost accounts to make various decisions within the organization is called cost management. And there we will also try to manage our costs. Manage our costs in the sense we will try to keep our costs as low as possible without compromising with the quality. Okay, sir. Then coming to objectives of cost accounting, maybe like your 4 or 5 marks question. You need not, sir, will I write only points? No, guys, in the exams, please don't write only the points. Here I have given only points, but I will be explaining it. Clear? And sir, should we also explain it in the exam? Of course. But should we write any definitions here, sir? Guys, no. There is no definitions for all this. Clear? But try to use some standard words, which we will see. Okay, while going through, we will see. First objective is what, guys? Ascertainment of cost. Why? See, if I know my cost only, I can fix my selling price. Without knowing my cost, if I fix my selling price, what if I end up making losses? So any organization, first they should know their cost. Over and above their cost, they will add certain profit and they will fix their selling price. So that at the end of the year, they know that what is their performance in terms of what? Profit. Okay. Then determination of selling price and profitability. That is what I told you. Once you know your cost, you will fix the selling price by adding certain profit. Then the difference between the selling price and cost is called the profit. Yes. Profit we can calculate per unit also. We can calculate overall also. Then cost control. Cost control is an important technique, guys, because no company will be happy with whatever cost they're incurring. They want to control their costs. They want to reduce their cost. But cost control and cost reduction is not one and the same. They both are different. Ultimate objective is to reduce the cost only. Clear? But they both are different. What is it? First, under cost control, we will follow different steps. At the beginning of the year, we will fix some predetermined costs. For example, to produce each and every unit, I am supposed to incur a cost of 100 rupees. I am supposed to incur a cost of how much? 100 rupees. Yes, sir. 100 rupees. We call this as standard cost. We call this as standard cost. Now we will measure the actual performance. Measure the actual performance is, sir, actually work is done. How much cost did I incur? How much cost I have actually incurred? Now assume guys I have incurred 120 rupees. 120. 100 rupees is what I was supposed to incur, but I have actually incurred 120. 20 more. So what is the variance? Sir, we have got 20. When I compare standard with actual, we got a variance of how much? 20. Now we will analyze what is the reason for it. Why did we incur 20 rupees more? Because 20 rupees more means 20 rupees less profit. Because I was supposed to incur 100 rupees cost, but I ended up incurring how much? 120. So we will analyze this and report it to the top level management. Sir, why did this 20 extra we clear? So that what will management do? Immediately they will try to take a precautionary measure so that at least in the future we can avoid this. We can avoid because anyway we cannot change the past. At least going forward we can change something if we bring any necessary changes in the organization. So actually guys, there is a chapter called standard costing. The standard costing entirely is based on the concept of cost control. That is what we will do in standard costing chapter. First, we will set a standard cost. Once we do the actual work, we will calculate the actual cost, compare actual cost with standard cost and see is there any variance. And that variance can be favorable or adverse. Favorable means when your actual cost is when your actual cost is less than standard cost, we call it as favorable because that will lead to additional profit. Whereas if your actual cost is more than your standard cost, we call it as unfavorable or adverse variance because that will result in lower profits. Got it? Yes, sir. So I have also given the explanation of cost control. In the next page, we will just see that cost control. Cost control ensures that the expenditure are in consonance with predetermined set standard. Means we are ensuring that my actual cost is actually equal to standard cost or below the standard cost. Equal to standard cost or below the standard cost. And any variation is nothing but the variance what we call it as. From this set standard is noted and reported on a continuous basis to whom? Top level manager. Yeah. And to calculate this actual results, guys, we will not even wait till the end of the year. We may do it at the end of week or at the end of the month so that at least we can take the necessary actions in the upcoming period. Got it? Yes. So it's very simple. We will set a standard. Once we are done with the work, we will calculate the actual. We will compare the actual with standard and see is there any variation. Variation is nothing but the difference between the actual and standard. Sir, which is always good or favorable? Keeping actual lower than standard. That is in terms of cost we are talking. That is in terms of costs. Okay. Next is the cost reduction. Sir, what is cost reduction? Guys, assume now presently the company is incurring to produce each and every unit, they are incurring a cost of 50 rupees. Will they be happy with this? No. No company will be happy with whatever cost they will be incurring. They will always be finding the ways to reduce their cost. Okay, but in a healthy way. In a healthy way. Hey, Amir Khan, listen here. So, whenever company is incurred, in my example, they have incurred 50 rupees cost. They will try to find a way. Is there any possibility to reduce this cost below 50? Maybe for 45, 40. Okay, maybe if there is any wastage in the process, if there is any loss in the process, or some of the workers simply sitting idle. Okay, maybe they can do the cost cutting by removing those workers. Okay, because we are paying them for not working, or there is no productivity. So if there is any loss or wastage, maybe the company can try to avoid. So now assume they have achieved the cost of 45. By doing some actions, they have reduced the cost of 45. First check, is it a permanent reduction or is it only a temporary? Okay, because sometimes temporary reduction also will happen. For example, assume in the market, raw material, for me, the raw material is tomato. Okay, it is the price of tomato is always market driven. Now assume that all of a sudden the tomato prices has come down. Okay, will it be down forever? No. Assume for 1.5 months. So my raw material cost has come down. So that is why my manufacturing cost also has come down. Is it a permanent achievement? No. So whatever 5 rupees reduction we have achieved, just check, is it a permanent reduction? Is it a real reduction? Real means what, sir? Is there any duplicate reduction? Guys, for example, for book purpose, we can do show all that. Okay, assume I want to show more profits, so I may show less profits and less cost and all in that scenario. So it should be a real achievement. Clear? Yes. So let us see what is cost reduction. I have given it in the next page. Let's just come to this part. Yeah, let me read it. Cost reduction is an achievement of real and permanent reduction in what? Unit cost. Right? What was in my example 50 rupees is the cost of manufacturing 1 unit of output, not total cost. So did we achieve the unit cost reduction? Yes. Of goods manufactured or services rendered without impairing their suitability. That is also important. Without compromising with the quality for the use intended or diminishing the quality of the product. We should make sure that, sir, 45 rupees what cost we have reduced is without compromising with the quality. Now, I started using cheap quality raw material. I started using unskilled workers in my production process. Cost will come down. But will customers come back again? Definitely not. So that will affect your reputation and goodwill. So please make sure that whatever cost reduction you are achieving is not without compromising with your quality. That is very, very important. Yes, sir. To do cost reduction, the following actions can be taken. What are those? Each activity within an entity is segmented to analyze and identify value added and non-value added activities. First, identify what are all the different activities which are happening within the organization. And within the organization, there will be few activities for which you are spending the money, but they are not adding any value to you. They are not adding any value to you. So try to eliminate them. Or if not possible to eliminate, at least reduce it so that your cost will come down. Clear? Sometimes you also feel that all these are not necessary in my life. Okay, all these are not necessary in preparation. Clear? So even in your day-to-day life, you will be doing a lot of non-value adding activities. Okay, most of you. Clear? So try to eliminate that. You will definitely get more and more time for your preparation. Especially one non-value adding activity which I can tell is usage of mobile phone. Okay, if you can have a control over it to some extent, at least till you finish your exams, definitely it will have a lot of productivity for you guys. Try to do it. All non-value adding activities are eliminated without affecting the essential characteristics of product or process. See, when you are eliminating, please eliminate non-value adding activity. As a manufacturing process, I thought manufacturing is not required. I will eliminate it. From tomorrow, what will you do? Correct. That is value adding activities. Correct. So try to identify some non-value adding activities in your organization and try to eliminate it. For example, as you guys, after producing each product, sir, there is a worker who will take it, go keep it in godown and come. Instead of that, bring some automation. Okay, so why simply involving the human intervention? Better you can bring some automation where as soon as the goods are produced, if you just keep it, it will automatically go. There are many companies who have introduced this. Yes. So, conducting continuous research and study to know better way to do anything. This is very important. Any company, okay, especially the technology-based companies and all, they will have a R&D team. They will always be finding the ways. Sir, how can I do the same thing in a different way? Or how will I come out with a new product or new service? Okay, if not, if you are not updated, you will become outdated. That is what happened with Nokia was. Okay, Nokia was the number one smartphone seller, number one phone seller in one time. But they couldn't upgrade themselves to smartphones. That is where the others overrided them. Sir, did they do anything wrong in terms of financials or anything, any fraud? Nothing. They couldn't update themselves. Clear. Whereas when others did it, they took over the market of Nokia. Yes, like that, there are many things. Even you can take some camera companies and all, like Kodak and all. So they were the number one sellers in the past. Okay, they were the market leader, but over a period of time, others overrated them just because of the innovations. Okay, sure. Then we also have a difference between cost control and cost reduction. Guys, one of the expected question in exam, they have asked it in the past. Explain the difference between cost control and cost reduction. For 4 or 5 marks, you can get it. Yes. If they have asked for 4, at least write 4 differences. If you can write another one extra, give extra. Okay, they will definitely not give extra marks. If question is for 4 marks, they will maximum give only 4. But if possible, you try to write 1 or 2 extra points. Okay. Yes. Sure. If it is asked for 5 marks, you have to write all 5. Guys, please pay attention. If you understand the word cost control and cost reduction, the difference becomes easy. What is cost control? Cost control aims at maintaining the cost in accordance with what? Established standard, which is nothing but standard cost. Whereas coming to cost reduction is concerned with reducing cost. Concerned with reducing cost. Then coming to cost control again. Cost control seeks to attain lowest possible cost under the existing conditions. Means I'm not bringing any changes, sir. Sir, whatever I'm doing, I will continue to do it. But I will try to match this my actual cost with what? Standard. But under cost reduction, it is not like that. I am finding the ways. I am ready to bring changes in my production process so that my cost will reduce. Cost reduction recognizes no condition as permanent since a change will result in lower cost. Guys, please be careful. Cost reduction is permanent. But whatever I am doing, nothing is permanent. Can I change something tomorrow? Yes. Why? In order to bring down my cost. In order to bring down my cost. So I thought, okay, I am assuming this. I am following method A to produce my output. Now I thought if I introduce method B, then my cost will be so much. So can I change it? Yes, nothing is permanent. Sir, if I am following method A, that doesn't mean that forever I will follow method A. I will be waiting for the opportunities. If I can bring in some other method which will reduce my cost, which will help me to produce in a better way, then I will introduce that change in my organization. Okay, then the third one, under cost control. In case of cost control, emphasis is on what? Past and present. Yes, when we are setting the standard cost, this one, when we are setting the standard cost, 100 rupees, how did I set it? Just I woke up, I got 100 rupees in my dream, I fixed it up? No. I would have worked out based on my past. I would have checked in the past what is my cost and in the industry what is the standard. Based on lot of research and my past calculations, I would have fixed this. Correct? And in the present, I am trying to match my actual cost with what? My standard cost. Hope you are understanding. So it is more about past and present. In the present, I am trying to match with my what? Standard cost. How did I fix my standard cost? Based on my past performance. Based on my past cost data. Okay, sir. Then coming back. In case of cost reduction, it is more on the present and future. Present, sir, my cost is 50. Presently, my cost is 50, but I want to bring down to 45. What should I do in between this? Obviously, that is with respect to what? Future. With respect to future. So I will introduce a change. Change will not give result today only. It will take over a period of time. Clear? Maybe by the end of the year or end of 6 months, I will achieve my 45 rupees target. Is it the present and future? Yes. Present cost is 50. I want to reduce it to 40. That is my future goal. That is my future goal. Then fourth one. Cost control is a preventive function. Cost control is a preventive function. Means, guys, I already know that my standard cost is 100. I should prevent my actual cost going above. Are you understanding? Observe the words. Guys, I have fixed my standard cost as 100. Now what should I do? What is in my control? Actual cost. I should prevent my actual cost going above 100. I should prevent my actual cost going above 100. I should ensure that it is 100 or less than 100. 100 good. Less than 100 very good. Clear? Yes. Whereas under cost reduction, guys, it is corrective function. Corrective function means, guys, my actual cost is 15. I know that I have incurred more. I know that I have incurred more. No, I should correct in such a way that it will come to 40. Clear? I am repeating again. Sir, I know my present cost is 50. Okay, I know there is some wastage, loss, or idle time, some mistakes we have done. If I can correct all that, then my cost would be 40. Hope you are understanding. So if I bring some changes where I can correct my mistakes, which has increased my cost, if I correct that mistakes, now I can reduce it to 40. Hope you are getting it. Yes, sir. Last one, fifth one. Cost control ends when target is achieved. When target is achieved, right? Assume I have set a standard cost of 100 for this year. At the end of the year, assume I have achieved 100 rupees or 90, 80, some target I have achieved. This work, this work is done. This work is done. That doesn't mean that, sir, standard costing ended. Huh? No. Again, for next year, we will set a new standard. But will we work on the same standards? No. For example, next year I may set a different standard, 110, because there will be inflation from year to year and all. I cannot keep the same standard year after year. Last year I had kept 100. Next year I have to change it. That is in the current year I have to change it. Clear? So whatever standard I would have set, assume for 1 month. At the end of 1 month, that is done and dusted. Next month, again I will set a new standard and we will work as per. Whereas cost reduction, there is no visible end for it. And it is a continuous process. Now assume at the end of the year, we achieved 45 rupees cost. Will we again be satisfied? No. No. We have to now further bring it down to how much? Assume 42. Next year, we will start working. How do we reduce from 45 to 40? Because no company will be happy with whatever cost they are incurring us. Even from 50, if they bring down to 45, to next year, they will try to find a way. How will we reduce this 45? Clear? So is there a end? Sir, once we achieve 45, will we stop? No. It is a continuous process. Continuous process. Oh, sure. Coming back. Cost. So cost reduction we have discussed. The last one is assisting the management in various decision making. There are a lot of decisions which has to be made even in costing us. Actually, in FM and all, also you will be doing a lot of decisions, correct? Capital budgeting decisions and all. Sir, should we invest in this or that? We will have various proposals and we will have limited budget. Okay, where to invest, how much amount? Considering risk, reward, everything, we have to decide. Same way in costing also. Should I assume I have an option to produce three products. Product A, B, C. Which one should I produce? A na, B na, C na. Which will give me more profit? Clear. If there is a key factor, I should consider that also. Key factor means which will limit your activities. Something is available for you in limited. Something is available for you in limited. So should you consider that when you are planning? Yes, sir. So there are various decisions which we have to make. Obviously, all these decisions when I am making, I should also consider one of the important factor. What is it? Cost. What is the cost involved in it? Guys, correct? No. Even in your FM and all you do, no? So now assume capital structure decision you are making. Capital structure. Sir, I want 100 lakh capital, sir. I have two major options. What is it? Equity, debt. Both will come with a cost. Cost of equity, cost of debt. Now you will analyze, sir, which is better. Both has its own advantages and disadvantages. Correct? Sir, if I go with equity, I have to dilute my ownership. But there is no fixed commitment. I should not pay any fixed interest or there is no commitment with respect to repayment. But a part of ownership is going to you. Clear? If you are ready for it, you can go for it. If not, coming to debt, there is a fixed commitment to pay interest. Principal repayment has to happen. Clear? But ownership will be with you. Clear? So there is a things also. We have to consider EBIT. That is nothing but EBIT or PBIT. How much profit you will be earning and all. So if you are having an expectation that you will earn very less profit, then better don't go with the debt. Better don't go with the debt. If you have an expectation that you will earn large amount of EBIT, then you can go with debt. So that even after paying interest, still lot of money is left to the equity shares. Clear? This is just an example I am giving you. Same way, even in costing, guys, as I told you, sir, I have to produce product A or product B. Or, for example, there is a proposal from you because, sir, I will buy so many items from you, but offer me a discount of 10%. Should I accept this or not? Or I am purchasing the raw material. I am purchasing 10,000 kgs at a time. Now you came and told, because, sir, if you purchase 50,000 kgs at a time, I will give you a discount. Now, should I accept this discount or not? All these are decision making. So, for accepting these decisions or not, what all should I consider? EOQ, carrying cost, ordering cost, purchase price, all this I have to consider. Only then I can decide. I cannot blindly tell, okay, you are giving me discount, let me accept that. Because when I purchase more, you are offering me discount only if I purchase 50,000 kgs at a time. When I purchase 50,000 kgs at a time, automatically my carrying cost will shoot up. Purchase price will go down because of this one, but carrying cost will go up because I have to take care of large quantity of raw materials. These are just few examples which I gave. Okay, sure. Some important concepts. This can come either as an MCQ or even as a descriptive theory questions. So what are those one by one? Please be careful, guys, because there will be small difference between each of them. You will get confused. You will feel like after studying all this, sir, cost object and cost unit is one and the same, sir. Actually, they are not same. What is it? I will explain, but please be attentive. First, cost objects. Cost object is anything for which a separate measurement of cost is required. For example, guys, I am manufacturing this pen. I want to know what is the cost of manufacturing this pen. Yes, overall. So, what is my ultimate cost of it? Pen. I want to calculate the cost of this means. This is my objective. Clear? So, for anything for which I have to calculate the cost, that is called cost object. Now, for example, I want to calculate the cost of this classroom or cost of this batch. Can we calculate, sir? Yes, that is called cost batch. Sorry, cost object. Cost object may be a product, a service, a project, a customer, a brand category, an activity, or a department, or a program. Even there is like activity-based costing where we will calculate the cost of each activity. Yeah. Now, even for example, brand category. Sir, for example, some companies will operate multiple brands like HUL, ITC, and all. Now, they want to calculate the cost of the company as a whole, but they also want to know the cost of each and every brand or each and every product. In that case, that will become a cost object. Clear? Or else even a department. Sir, I want to calculate the cost of a particular department. In that case, for example, HR department, accounting department, production department, sales department, we want to calculate the cost of each department. In that case, that becomes a cost object. That becomes a cost object. Yes, sir. Classification of cost element is direct or indirect, fixed or variable. All depends on what? Cost object. That's simple. Once first you freeze your cost object. Assume I am freezing my cost object as what? Pen. Now, if there is any cost which will vary with how many units of pen I will manufacture, what is that cost? Variable. If there is any cost which will not vary with how many units of pen I manufacture, no matter how many units of pen I will manufacture, cost will remain same only. What is that cost for? Fixed. Clear? So more the number of units I produce, more will be the variable cost. Lower the number of units I produce, lower would be the variable cost. Whereas total fixed cost will always be constant. Okay, sir. Then coming to even direct and indirect. Sir, if there is any cost which is directly attributable to the pen or product, we call that cost as what? Direct cost. Means I can tell this is what I have incurred to produce each and every pen. That is called direct cost. If not, no sir, I am not able to tell. I have paid a salary for accountant. How can I tell how much salary I have paid for each pen? No, I cannot tell. So in that case, what do I call it as? Indirect. Same way, sir, I have paid a rent of 10 lakh, sorry, 1 lakh for my factory building or office building. Can I tell how much I have incurred to produce each and every pen? No, that is indirect, which is also fixed in nature. Oh. Examples I have given. Examples of cost object are as follows. First one, product. Smartphone, tablet, computer, SUV car, that is sports utility car, book, etc. Okay. Or any of this. I have given only few examples here. That doesn't mean this is an end list. Then service. An airline flight from Delhi to Mumbai, can they calculate the cost of this? Yes, sir. Audit assignment, for example, assume I have got an audit assignment, statutory audit. Can I calculate the cost of that assignment? Yes. Teaching, can we calculate the cost of it? Yes. So then project, any particular project we have received, which may take number of years also, like metro rail project, road project, etc. Then activity, different activities performed in an organization. Can we calculate the cost of each of them? Yes, we will learn this in activity-based costing, where we will identify what are the different activities which are happening in the organization and what is the cost of each activity. Yes. Quality inspection of materials, placing of orders, etc. Process. Refinement of crudes in oil refineries, melting of billets or ingots in rolling mills, etc. Yes, this is the process. Now, in process costing, which is one of the method of costing, what do? We will calculate the cost of completing each and every process. Yes, in that case, process is a cost object. Even in activity-based costing, guys, first step, we will identify the activities. We will calculate the cost of each activity. While we are calculating the cost of each activity, what is the cost object? Activity. Then we will assign the activity cost to the products. Now what is the cost object? Products. Clear? In the last step, we are assigning activity cost to what? The products. Okay, whichever products you are producing. Now what is the cost object? Clear? Yes. Department. Production department, finance and accounts, sales, etc. Even guys, if you know in overhead chapter, we do something called as primary distribution, secondary distribution. Sir, in the primary distribution, what do we do? Sir, whatever common overhead or general overhead is there, we will distribute it to all the departments based on what services they have used or how they have taken the benefits. Yes, sir. At the end, what do we get? The cost of each department, that is production as well as service department. So here, what was the cost of each department? Next, we will redistribute the production department cost to service department. We call it as secondary distribution or reapportionment. Correct? At the end of secondary distribution, we will have cost only for whom? Production department. Only for production department. Now listen. Sir, we have got the cost of 3 production departments. Just a minute. Assume we have 3 production departments. Guys, I am already connecting to next thing now. Sir, we have 3 production department X, Y, Z. At the end of secondary distribution, we got a total cost or total overhead. We can call it as some amount. Sir. We have got some amount. Now, what do we do is we will divide it by output. Each production department is engaged in production now. Yes, sir. Now we will divide it by number of units. Number of units. So output would be in what? Units. Total cost would be in rupees. So assume this would be in units. Okay. Now let us give a notation. This is A, this is B. Now if I do A by B, what do I get? Cost per unit. Cost per unit. We call this as cost unit. We call this as cost unit. Guys, listen now. First, we calculated the cost of each department, production department. This is nothing but what we do in overhead chapter. Here, in overhead chapter, first we will distribute all the overhead costs to whom? To the production department as well as service department. If it is a specific overhead, right away do assignment. If it is a general overhead or common overhead, you will do apportionment using certain basis. At the end of primary distribution, you will get the cost for all the department, production as well as service. Now, as we have not produced anything in service department, what should we do? We need to redistribute the service department cost to production department. Because if I keep the cost in service department only, I have not produced anything there. I will not be able to calculate cost. Got it? Yes. Now, at the what we will do? We will prepare secondary distribution. So under secondary distribution, we will redistribute or reapportion service department cost to production department. At the end, we will have cost only to whom? Production department. Got it? And in the production department, we have produced the output. Divide each other. You will get cost per unit. You will get cost per unit. We call this as cost unit. We will call it as cost unit. Or else we have another way. Listen. Sir, we have got total overhead here. Okay. We will take machine hours. We will take machine hours. Machine hours. We will take machine hours. If I divide each other, assume this is A, this is B. If I do A by B, what do I get? Machine hour rate. I will get machine hour rate. Is this a cost unit? Yes. Or we also call it as absorption rate. Overhead absorption rate. Is that clear? So this for overhead chapter I am telling you, we also call it as absorption rate. Overhead absorption rate or cost per unit or machine hour rate. Here, if I take output, that is cost per unit. If I take machine hour, that is the cost per machine hour. Means to operate machine for 1 hour, what is the cost we will be incurring? Hope you got it. Clear? So I have already tested both now. Cost object means, guys, in this scenario, this. What did we do? We calculated the cost of each department. Then we divided it by number of units or number of hours. What did we get? Cost unit. We got cost unit. That is, what is the cost we have incurred to produce each and every unit in each department? Or what is the cost we have incurred to operate a machine for 1 hour? in each department. That is per hour or per unit or per anything we are calculating. That is called cost units. Hope you got it. Yes. Sure. Now let us get into cost unit. It is a unit, not in total. See, guys, cost object I can see major difference between cost object and cost unit is cost object is like overall. Okay, maybe in total. Whereas cost unit is per unit or per like that. Okay. It is a unit of product, service, or time. Or a combination of this. Even it can be a per unit of service. For example, sir, cost per passenger kilometer, cost per ton kilometer. Clear? Means what is this, sir? To carry one passenger for 1 kilometer, what is the cost the transportation company is incurring? Or if it is a goods transportation, to carry 1 ton for 1 kilometer, what is the cost they are incurring? Clear? So did we calculate the cost per unit? Yes. It is a unit of product or service or time or combination of this. Combination is, for example, it can be per unit per hour, something like that. Even what I told, per kilometer per passenger, per ton per kilometer. We call that as composite cost unit. Composite cost unit. That is when you are using two or more cost units. We call it as composite cost unit, which we will learn in service costing chapter. In relation to which cost may be ascertained or expressed. We may determine the cost per ton of steel, per ton kilometer of transport service, or cost per machine hour. Cost units are usually the units of measurement, that is physical measurement, like number, weight, area, volume, length, time, value, etc. Some of the examples I have given, guys, this is as per the industry standards. Even in exams, they are asking this. For example, they will give some products or industry and tell you which is the appropriate cost unit for it. They will ask you which is the appropriate cost unit for it. See, there are few products or services for which you can have multiple cost units. There is no fixed list, guys. In that case, if you feel that 2, 3 things are relevant, write it, no problem. For a particular industry or a product, if you feel that, sir, 2, 3 cost units are there, better you write. Don't restrict to only one. Oh, chill. First, automobile number. Sir, automobile means per car, per vehicle like that. Okay, that is why I have written number. So it can be like per car, per bicycle, or even per vehicle, or per two-wheeler. Then cement, it is always ton or per bag. Per ton or per bag. Don't write per kg and all. Okay, that is not an industry standard. Then bricks worth 1,000 bricks. Standard I am telling you. Sir, I purchased only 10 bricks, sir. No, industry standard is 1,000. Yeah, yes. That is, guys, we are talking from manufacturer point of view or from service point of view. Okay, not from customer point of view. Like, for example, we purchased 5 kgs of cement, 5 bricks. So, sir, should we consider that here? No. Clear. So, please consider from industry standard point of view. Chemicals, it can be in liter, gallon, kilogram, ton. Because few of the chemicals can be in liquid form also. Next, steel, sugar, coal mining, everything per ton. Next, transportation, it depends on passenger or the goods. If it is passenger, per ton per kilo, sorry, if it is goods, per ton per kilometer. If it is a passenger transportation, per passenger per kilometer. Next, gas, cubic feet. Power or electricity, kilowatt hour. Professional services, any kind of professional services, normally we charge based on hour, per hour. Then education institutions, enroll student or per student or per course or per year also it can be. Next, hospitals, per patient per day or per bed, it can be like that, or per treatment or per doctor visit, any of this. Next, hotel or catering, if it is accommodation, then per room per day. If it is like restaurant, per meal or per items. Then the last one is brewing pair. Okay, it's the process of making the alcohol. Next, cost driver. Cost driver. Sir, what is cost driver? Cost driver. Guys, see, for any cost, there will be a factor which is affecting the amount of cost. For example, purchasing cost. What is the factor affecting the purchasing cost? Number of purchases. Number of purchases. Higher the number of purchases, higher will be the purchase cost. Same way. Inspection cost. Number of inspection hours will be the cost driver or the factor. Clear? Same way. For example, assume production, overall production cost I am taking. What is the cost driver there? Number of units. Number of units. Higher the number of units you produce, higher would be the production cost. Got it? Yes. So, cost driver is a factor which will affect your cost. Higher the cost driver, higher would be the cost. Lower the cost driver, lower would be your cost. Yeah. A cost driver is a factor or variable which will affect the level of cost. Which will affect the level of cost means here level means which level? Amount of cost. Higher the cost driver, higher would be the amount of cost. Generally, it is an activity which is responsible for cost increase. For example, if there is no production cost. If there is no purchaser, no purchase cost. Correct? Higher the cost driver, higher the cost. Or if there is no cost driver, then there is no cost at all. Okay. Example, number of machine setup. So for machine operation, if you are incurring any cost, number of machine setup will be the cost driver for it. Because higher the number of machine setup, higher would be the setting up cost. Then, with respect to purchase cost, what is the cost driver? Number of purchase orders. In case of test performed, how much test is performed? Number of tests performed is the cost driver. Clear? Now, for you guys, for your results, to get that successful on your screen, what is the cost driver? What is the driver? Driving force. What is the driving force? Rohit? Huh? Preparation. Your preparation, consistency, and determination. Guys, see, if you take care of the process, results will come. Because successful is not just an event which will happen on a particular day. It is a result of the process. Only if you take care of the process, results will be in your. So please make sure that you guys are highly dedicated because CA is something which we cannot take it so lightly, guys. Before entering this course itself, you know that yes, this is one of the challenging course in commerce stream. Tough. In fact, I can tell toughest in commerce stream, and I am taking it. So you are already mentally prepared for it. Make sure that whatever it requires, you are giving it. Only then ICA will give what you want. Or else it will keep on telling, come again, come again, come again. Because for CA, there is also one more full form, come again. Chartered accountant is what world know. But for students, okay, sir, it also means come again. For one, you don't take this very seriously, okay? So please make sure that guys, if you want the results in your way, you are working very hard for it. Definitely you will get it. Sometimes it will take time. You may not get the desired result in the first attempt or maybe in the second attempt. You must identify what mistakes you have. Definitely there will be something which you have done which you can improve. Which you can improve now. Because guys, always there is a room for improvement. I always believe in that. Even me as a teacher, I cannot be the same person year after year. I have to keep on updating. I have to keep on updating with respect to my knowledge, content, notes, everything. If you attend my class this year, if you attend my class again next year, obviously you will not do it, but still I'm telling you, you will not see the same notes, same content for sure. Why, sir? Because even I would have come out with a different base of presentation. Okay, somewhere at least few charts I would have added UD, few content I would have added, something I would be doing it. Because after each and every class, even I will try to analyze, can I do this better? So that, okay, this will become more simplified to the students. So same way, guys, if results have not come your way in the last attempt, that means there is a way where you can improve yourself. Maybe few topics you would have left. Maybe you have not practiced well. You know the concept, but you don't have writing practice. That is the biggest mistake CS students do. So straight away hitting the examination on without a practice. Exam becomes a practice for you. Clear? Don't do that. Please try to take mock test, guys. Try to take the mock test wherever it is possible. First choice is ICI mock test. Okay, sir, no, sir, I have taken somewhere else or I am following some other teacher. They are giving mock tests. You can do it. Okay, there are a lot of test series also available in the market. But whichever you guys have already decided, please stick to that. Okay. Or the best one is taking the self-test. Self-test means, guys, before every exam, there is something called as mock test paper, which ICA will release, MTP. Okay. So try to take a printout of it, and try to attend. First, maybe once you will read it, try to answer it as if it is your exams from 1:45 to 5. Not at your convenience whenever you want. You have to answer it from 1:45 to 5 itself. At least try to take one or two tests. If you can take more, always better. But minimum, I'm telling you, one to two. That will give an overall idea, guys, where you are getting stuck. Okay, are you able to manage the 3 hours time? Okay, are you able to stay focused? All these things will give you some inputs. Definitely, you may not be 100% satisfied with whatever you are doing in that test. But before going to the examination hall, you can improvise. That is what I suggest you. So please take mock test for all the subjects. If you are writing one group, all 3 subjects. If you are writing both the groups, all 6 subjects, take the mock test. And that should be between 1:45 to 5. So how I suggest is, take a printout. Don't refer to soft copy and all. Please take a printout of it. And even suggested answers would be released by ICI, but don't refer to it until you finish writing. So you decide a particular days for each subject, guys. Assume on a particular day you are taking costing test. 1:45 only you start. 15 minutes reading time, from 2 writing. And from 2 when you are writing also, please take care of each and everything. Now in between, don't go get your calculator you have kept somewhere, pen you have kept somewhere. In between, don't get up. Yeah. So as if you are tell your parents also, if not in between, Papa, you are very tired, they will give some supplements to you in between. Okay. Sir, snacks, so okay, not snacks, fruits and all. Avoid it in that 3 hours. Okay, maybe you can start after your lunch only. In between, your mother will come, hey, come, have lunch, have lunch. And so tell them also that don't disturb in between. I'm taking a mock test as if it is an exam. Don't disturb me for 3 hours. And after 5, Gunjan, after 5, take a break, have something, rest. Maybe from 6, you try to compare your answer to ICA suggestion answer. I tell you, your answer will definitely not match ICA answer in all questions. For sure, it will happen. Try to see where and all you can improve. Okay, somewhere assume the question was for 5 marks. Clear? You are supposed to write at least like one side of the paper. But you couldn't complete. Sir, for 5 marks, I knew only 5 lines, sir. Okay, now that 5 lines only I will repeat, copy paste, copy paste. Please don't do such things in CA exams. The evaluator will not be a fool. Don't try to test his knowledge. Okay. So now what you are, how can you present more? That and all you will get to know when you see the suggested answers, guys. So please take it seriously. After this revision classes also, for costing as well as other subjects, please do it. That will definitely help you guys. You will definitely feel happy and satisfied, not in the mock test, in your main exam. Clear? So please take it seriously and try to do it. Will you? Will you? Yes, yes, energy should be there. Sure, this is done. Next, responsibility center. Responsibility centers. To have a better control over the organization, management delegates its responsibility and authority to various departments or persons. Now, owner himself cannot do everything in terms of business. So there will be a separate department to take care of each and everything. So the top level management will delegate their responsibility to others. So, what are those centers called as? First one, cost centers. The center whichever is responsible for the incurrence of cost, cost control, cost reduction, that center or department we call it as cost center. In simple, we will keep it inside. The center we will call it as cost center, which is nothing but cost accounting department. Costing department. Let us see. It is held accountable or responsible for incurrence of costs which are under its control. The performance of this responsibility center is measured against what? Predetermined standard or budget. Means they would be given a budget. See, cost department, maximum cost you will incur is 10 lakh. In that 10 lakh, material should be 5 lakh. Labor should be 3 lakh. And overhead should be 2 lakh. They would have given a budget like this for you. They should make sure that whatever actual cost they are incurring should be within this limits. Within the limits. Assume guys they incurred a total cost of 12 lakh. Now they are answerable for it. They should tell why they incurred 2 lakh extra. Why did they incur 2 lakh extra? The cost center are of two types. First one, standard cost center. Cost center where output is measurable and input required for the output can be specified. The input output ratio for standard cost center is clearly identifiable. For example, raw material. Sir, to produce each and every unit of output, I require 2 kg of raw material. Each kg will cost me 100 rupees. What is my cost of raw material? 200 for each and every unit of output. Can I measure it in terms of input output? For every 2 kg of input, I will get 1 kg of output or 1 unit of output. Clear up? Yes. So what is the cost of my raw material? It is 200. As per my example, 200. Hope you got it. Yes. Now means input outputs are standard cost center means simple guess. I know that if I incur so much cost, this is what the benefit I will get. Or this will be the output. Okay. The actual cost for input is compared with the standard cost. Any deviation or variance in cost is measured and analyzed into controllable and uncontrollable. Means whatever variance we get, assume in my example, standard cost was 10 lakh, but actual cost we incurred 12 lakh. What is the variance? 2 lakh. In that we will identify how much is controllable, how much is uncontrollable. Assume guys, controllable is 1.5 lakh. Uncontrollable is 0.5 lakh. This anyway I cannot change. This is not in my control. At least for this, I will take necessary precautionary measures for the upcoming period. Because this extra 1.5 lakh maybe we would have incurred because of our negligence or ignorance or mistakes or wastage. So if I take necessary action, I can avoid it in the upcoming period. The manager of cost center is held responsible for adverse cost variances. Adverse means, in my example, 2 lakh was adverse. Standard cost was supposed to be 10 lakh, but we have incurred how much? 12 lakh. So we have a variance of 2 lakh, which is adverse. Now, who will be questioned for this? The manager of that particular center. Okay, sir. Next, discretionary cost center. Guys, discretionary cost center means, sir, here we cannot measure in terms of input output properly. We are incurring a cost of so much, but we don't know what is the result of it exactly. For example, we are spending for research and development 5 lakhs. Will I know exactly what is the benefit I will get? I can estimate, but can I tell with accuracy? I cannot. Same way, assume guys, we are spending 10 lakh for advertising. We are spending 10 lakh for advertisement through different modes. Will I get to know exactly, accurately, what is the benefit I will get from this? See, definitely it will drive my sales. But exactly, accurately, can I tell how much sales we have got through this advertisement? Yeah, some company will do estimation and all. But will it be an accurate number, sir? No. Oh. Discretionary cost center. The cost center whose output cannot be measured in financial terms. Thus, input output ratio cannot be defined. The cost of input is compared with allocated budget for the activity. Means for this activities and all, normally a budget would be set guys. For marketing, so much. For research and development, they will set a budget of so much. We should ensure that whatever cost we are actually incurring is within that. Is within that. The cost of input is compared with the allocated budget for an activity. Example of discretionary cost centers are like R&D or advertisement department, where output of this department cannot be measured with certainty. I can estimate it, but with accuracy, or with certainty, can I tell? No. And correlated with cost incurred on the inputs. I will not be able to tell, sir, this is what the benefit I have got by incurring so much expenditure. Clear? Yes. Next, revenue center. Revenue center is nothing but sales department or even the marketing department. How much revenue they are generating. Even for them, target would be given. Clear? So especially you guys would have seen some people working in sales department and all, they keep on calling you, telling this is there, that is there, that offer is there. You are eligible for so and so option and all. Clear? Yeah. So because they would be given a target to increase their sales. The responsibility centers which are accountable for generation of revenue, which is nothing but sales for the entity. Sales department, for example, is responsible for achievement of sales target and revenue generation. Next is profit center. Whoever is in charge of both cost and profit, because revenue minus cost is equal to profit. Correct. So they are called profit centers. Profit centers. These are the responsibility centers which have both the responsibilities of generation of revenue and incurrence of expenditure. Since manager of profit centers are accountable for both cost as well as revenue, profitability is the basis for measurement of performance of these centers. Very simple. Let me give it with a practical example. See, cost manager. I can call this as cost manager, the in charge of the cost department. This guy as sales manager. Okay, now about these two people, there will be something called general manager or just a manager. This guy will take care of both of them. He will moderate both of them. Clear? He will ensure that sales is increasing. He will also ensure that cost is kept as low as possible. Yeah. So he is controlling both of them. That guy is called profit center here. That guy is called profit center, who is in charge of both cost center as well as revenue center. Oh. Next, coming to investment center, finance manager. You know finance manager. Hello. What does he do? He take various decisions with respect to finance, where to invest, how to get the money. There are three important decisions in financial management. Which are those? Investment decision, financing decision, dividend decision. Clear. So those decisions are taken by this guy. Clear. That is nothing but investment center, sir. Even for costing, should we do investment? Yes. Sir, should I purchase the machine or should I take it on rent? Or should I purchase this machine or should I purchase that machine? Okay, all these are investment decisions, guys. These are the responsibility centers which are not only responsible for profitability but also have the authority to make capital investment decisions, capital budgeting decisions, and all you make clearer. Guys, whenever you have alternate proposals, you will use various things. First thing you will consider is risk and reward. Next, you will consider we have various methods to decide where to invest or in which proposal to invest. What are those? IRR, profitability index, or NPV. Clear, especially NPV, IRR, and all is most important thing. Okay, using that we will decide, sir, where to invest or which proposal to choose. The performance of these responsibility centers are measured on the basis of what? Return on investment. Besides profit. Means, sir, on this investment, what is the return we have got? We have got the return. Yes, sir. If you want, you can also make a note of it. Who is in charge of all, each of this? This is like cost manager. This is like sales manager. This guy is like general manager. Last one is like finance manager. Trupti, make a note of it. CM means cost manager. SM means sales manager. GM means general manager or just a manager. Last one is finance manager. See, if you are thinking from that point of view, you will understand what is your role. Okay, for example, if you are thinking as a cost manager, now you should know what is your task, what is your responsibility. Think like that. It becomes very easy. Okay, check. Next, classification of costs. Classification of costs. Assume, guys, we have incurred a total cost of 1 lakh. We have incurred a total cost of 1 lakh. Now, using a different basis, I can classify this cost into different types. Okay, for example, material, labor, overhead, or direct cost, indirect cost, variable cost, fixed cost. Guys, please be careful. Whatever the total expenses I will incur will not change. My total cost is 1 lakh only. But now I need to give a breakup. Sir, 1 lakh. How much you have incurred for what purpose? How much you have incurred for what purpose? For example, if I ask you, out of 1 lakh, how much is variable, how much is fixed? You will give two breakups. If I ask you, in 1 lakh, how much you have incurred for material, labor, overhead? You will give three breakups. Clear? Or else if I ask you, out of 1 lakh, how much is directly attributable to the product and how much is not directly attributable to the product? You will give a breakup of direct cost, indirect cost. Or product cost, period cost. Clear? Yes. Each of them we will see guys one by one. It means grouping of costs according to their common characteristics. Yes, sir. First one. Nature of elements. Nature of elements. Under this type of classification of cost, total cost of a cost object. We already understood what is cost object. for which we are determining the cost separately. My example, pen is classified on the basis of element of cost. What are the elements of cost? Material, labor, and overheads. Even in between other expenses will be there, but may not be there always. If it is there, we will take care of it. Yes. So, material under that direct, indirect. Employee or labor cost, even under that direct, indirect. Even other expenses under that direct, indirect. And all the indirect expenses put together, guys, we call it as overheads. Overheads. A sum of all the indirect expenses is called overheads. Okay. And overheads can also be classified as production overheads, or we also call it as factory overheads, then administrative overhead, selling and distribution overheads. All these are just a classification. So each one of them will quickly go through. All these are very simple, but still will quickly go through. Material. Sir, what is material? Material cost means the cost of raw material which we use to produce a product. It might be direct or indirect. Sir, what is direct material? Guys, if a raw material is present in my output, I call that direct material. Or else I can tell, sir, to produce each and every unit of output, what is my raw material cost? For example, to produce each and every unit of output, we use 10 kg of raw material. And for each kg, the cost is 10 rupees. Now, can I tell what is my material cost for producing each and every unit? 100 rupees. This is called direct material cost. Sir, what about indirect material cost? Right? Indirect material means, sir, I have used it in the production process, but it is not possible for me to tell for each and every unit how much I have used. How much I have used. For example, in the production process, for the machine, we have used machine oil or petrol or diesel. Okay. Now assume I have filled 1 liter of petrol. Using this, we will produce number of products. Can I tell for each and every unit how much liters of petrol we consumed and all? Not possible. Okay. And it is not economically feasible. If I put a lot of extra efforts, literally I can calculate. But is it required? No. So in that case, what do we put it as? Indirect. Clear? So simple, guys. Listen. If there is any material which is used in the production process but not present in the output, means I cannot tell, sir, petrol, diesel, where is it? So what is it? Indirect. Or sir, they are not directly attributable to my output. Clear? Means I cannot tell for each and every unit of output how much raw material I have used. We can treat it as indirect. Or else there can also be a situation like this. Sir, I can tell how much I have incurred for each and every unit of output, but it is of very small values, insignificant values. Can I treat it as indirect? Better you can treat it as indirect. Examples I have given, you can see for direct materials. Cloth in dressmaking, material purchased for a specific job, etc. Whereas indirect, lubricants, cotton waste, bricks, all these are indirect materials. Even see, if I have to give the example, now assume there is a furniture making company. I have asked them to make this bench and desk. Now to make this bench, what is the basic raw material? Wood. Clear? That is the direct material. Now they will also use other things like polishing, nails and all. See, are they using it in the output product? Yes. See, if I put an extra effort, I can count and see each and every table has how much nails and all. Sir, but is it required? No. Insignificant value. Insignificant value. So can I treat it as indirect? Yes. Same way polishing. Okay, used in the manufacturing process. But I cannot tell for each and every unit of output how much you are used. So better to treat it as what? Indirect. Got it? Yes. Same way. Now coming to labor. Now that's simple. Labor means the one who are engaged in the production process. Clear? And we call this employees. They are actually using their brains. There is a difference between labor and employees. Labor and worker is one and the same, whereas employees is different, guys. Laborers are the one who are employed in factory. Okay, who put their physical efforts into the work more. Whereas the employees are sitting in office. They use more of their brain. Clear? They're qualified. They're qualified, they have some experience. Clear? What we pay to labor is called wages. What we pay to employees is called salary. But for costing, there is no distinction like that. Everything one or the other way they will use it. Sometimes they use wages, sometimes they use salary and all. So you don't get confused. Clear? Listen. See, factory is a place where production happens. In a factory, there are two set of workers. One set of workers who are directly engaged in production. For them, whatever wages we pay is called direct wages. Okay. For the workers, whoever is engaged in production, for them, whatever we pay is called direct wages. In the factory, there will be workers, but who are not directly engaged in production. For example, factory supervisor, factory security guard. For them, are we paying based on production? No, we are paying it like monthly fixed amount. Who are they called? Indirect labor. For them, whatever we pay is called indirect wages. Yeah. And anything paid to the office staff or administrative staff, sales staff, marketing staff will always be indirect in nature because they are not directly engaged in production. Clear? So please be careful. You should know what is direct. Direct workers or direct laborers means who are engaged in production. Sir, we can tell what is the wages we are paying them for producing each and every unit. In that case, we call it as direct labor. Whatever we pay them is called direct wages or direct labor cost. Anything paid to others is indirect labor cost. Oh, let me quickly read it. Wages paid to workers for converting raw material into finished goods is called labor cost. Direct labor. Example, I will go. Employee engaged on actual production of a product or in carrying out the necessary operation for converting the raw material into finished product. That guy, whatever we pay them is called direct wages or direct labor cost. Indirect. Salary paid to foreman and supervisors, maintenance workers, etc. Because they are not directly engaged in production. They are supervising the work, but they are not directly engaged in production, guys. And as I told you, even anything paid to office, administration, staff and all will always be indirect in nature. Then coming to other expenses. Right? Anything other than material and labor will come under other expenses. Even this other expenses can be direct or indirect. If it is incurred for each unit of product produced, we call it direct. For example, please be careful. Again, I am telling other expenses means other than material and labor. As in, guys, for each and every unit I produce, I have to pay excise duty. Excise duty, which is now subsumed under GST, but only for few products it is there, including alcohol, because alcohol has been kept outside the GST. Now assume I am alcohol manufacturer. As and when I produce or I manufacture alcohol, I am supposed to pay something called as excise duty. So is it based on production? Yes. So can I call it as other expenses, other direct expenses? It is other direct expenses. Or else assume guys, I have taken a machinery on rent. I have to pay for each and every unit I produce using that machinery. I have to pay a rent of 2 rupees. What is this? Other direct expenses. Yeah. Or else I have taken a patent right to manufacture. Using this patent right, each and every unit I produce, I have to pay a royalty of 10 rupees. What is this? Other direct expenses. So in simple guys, direct expenses also will come later. Okay. We saw already direct labor, direct material and all. Sir, what is direct means? If I can tell to produce each and every unit how much cost I have incurred, that is direct in nature. No, sir, I cannot tell. Then it is indirect in nature. Then, even under other expenses, indirect also will be there. Anything which is not direct, which is not based on production, we call it as what? Other indirect expenses. Oh. So if I combine all this guys, indirect expenses, what do I get? Overheads. We can also further classify that overheads into different types. What are those? One by the aggregate of indirect material costs, indirect labor costs, and indirect expenses is known as the overheads. The main groups of overheads are as follows: production or work overheads. Very simple. Production, work, or factory overheads is one and the same. Any indirect expenses incurred in factory is called the production overheads. See, please be careful. Even direct material, direct labor might be incurred in factory, but they will not be a part of overheads. Factory is a place where production happens. So any indirect expenses incurred in factory is called as what? Work or production overheads. Now if you ask me, sir, in factory, do we incur both direct as well as indirect? Yes, we will incur both direct as well as indirect. If there is any expenses which is directly related to production, we call them as direct. No, sir, we have incurred some expenses in factory, but they are not directly related to production. What do we call it as? Production, factory, or manufacturing overhead, or even work overhead. All one and the same guys. Okay, yes. Indirect expenses which are incurred in the factory and for running the factory. Example like factory rent or factory power or electricity. Then coming to administration. Guys, outside the factory, listen, y'all. Outside the factory, any expenses we incur will always be indirect. Will always be indirect because manufacturing happens only in factory. If you are incurring any expenses in office or administration or even in marketing, sales and all, it will be always indirect in nature. So administration overhead. These are the indirect expenses related to management and administration of business. This is incurred for more of planning and execution. Example, office rent, lighting, telephone, or any office staff salary, or even accountant salary. Then selling overhead. Guys, now once I have produced the product, how will the people know about me or my product? We need to incur some expenses for advertisement and all. So any expenses incurred to create demand for my product is called selling overhead. Is called as selling overhead. Example, advertisement expenses, commission to salesperson and all, because they will also get an encouragement. If I sell more, I will get more commission. So we are paying them based on their performance. Last one is distribution overhead. Sir, now we have found the customer, we have sold the product. Now I have to reach my product to him. Now, for that, any cost which I incur is called distribution, like freight outwards or the transportation cost, or even if there is any packing to be done. Example, warehouse charges, packing, or that is secondary packing will come. That is which is packed at the time of delivery. Then the loading charges, loading or unloading or even transportation cost will come in as. Then by functions we can classify the cost into direct material cost, direct employee cost, direct expenses. We already saw all this, no? We already saw all this. Direct material cost, direct labor cost, and direct expenses. Guys, this three we put together, we call it as prime cost. Prime cost. Prime cost. And remember one thing, prime cost till here, it will always be direct in nature and it will always be variable in nature. It will always be variable in nature because it will always vary with the number of units you produce. Higher the number of units you produce, higher will be the cost. Lower the number of units you produce, lower will be the cost. Whereas anything which comes after this is called over expense. It can be variable or it can be fixed, but it will always be indirect in nature. It will always be indirect in nature. So what are the different types of overheads? Manufacturing production overheads. One and the same. Administrative overhead, selling overhead, distribution overhead, or sometimes we put together call it as selling and distribution together. Last one is this research and development cost. Guys, again I will talk about it in detail when I go to a chapter called cost, because the entire cost sheet chapter is based on this. Okay, and it has to go in this order. Yeah, if you want, you can just mark few things here. As I told you, guys, these three are called was what? Prime cost. It will always be variable in nature. It will always be variable in nature. No question of being fixed. Okay. Whereas this can be variable or fixed. Overheads can be either variable or fixed guys. Okay. Next. By changes in activity, variability, or behavior. Guys, if a cost can change according to the units we produce, that cost is called variable cost. For example, listen. Sir, to produce each and every unit of output, we require 5 hours of labor. For each hour, I need to pay them 100 rupees. Now, what is the labor cost per unit, guys? 500 rupees. Now, if I produce 100 units, what would be my labor cost? 500 into 100. If I produce 1000 units, what would be my labor cost? 500 into 1000. If I produce, assume 1200 units, what would be my cost? 1200 into 500. Hope you are getting it. So, the total variable cost, is it varying? Yes. If you increase the production, the total variable cost will increase. If you decrease the production, your total variable cost will decrease. Whatever you get here is nothing but total variable expense. But variable cost per unit remain fixed, remains constant. Clear? So variable cost per unit will remain constant. But if you multiply it with number of units, higher the number of units, higher would be the total variable cost. Lower the number of units, lower would be the total variable cost. So is it varying with your production? Yes. So that is why we call it as variable cost. Whereas fixed cost is not like that. Guys, listen here. Total fixed cost, let us take it as 10,000. Assume I am paying a rent of 10,000 to my factory building. No matter how many units I produce in my factory, in a month, I have to pay 10,000. I have to pay 10,000. So is my total fixed cost fixed? Yes, it will not change. How much ever number of units I produce, it will not change. But listen, per unit will it change? Yes, but in the opposite direction. Now assume guys, I have produced only 1,000 units. What is my fixed cost per unit? What is my fixed cost per unit? 10. Correct? 10. Now if I produce only 100 units, how much it would be? 100. Got it. Now you listen guys. Only base I have changed. Total fixed cost, numerator will remain same. If I produce more number of units, fixed cost per unit will decrease. Why? Denominator will increase. Now fixed cost per unit will decrease. Sir, what if I produce less number of units? Fixed cost per unit will increase. Hope you are understanding. So numerator is fixed. Depending upon the denominator. Guys, it moves in an opposite direction. Higher the number of units, lower will be the fixed cost per unit. Lower the number of units, higher will be the fixed cost per unit. It moves in an opposite direction. So all this MCQ can be formed. Fixed cost per unit and the number of units will move in dash direction. Same direction or opposite direction? Opposite direction. Here, whereas total variable cost and output will move in the same direction. Whereas variable cost per unit will remain same. Guys, come on, repeat along. You answer my question. Total variable cost dash with the output varies with the output. Higher the output, higher will be the variable cost. Lower the output, lower will be the variable cost. Whereas variable cost per unit will remain constant. Coming to fixed cost. Fixed cost in total remain constant. Whereas per unit it will vary, but in an opposite direction to output. Higher the number of units produced, fixed cost per unit will be lower. Lower the number of units produced, fixed cost per unit will increase. Will be higher. Got it? Yes. Now there is something called a semi-variable. Combination of both. It is a combination of both. Semi-variable means up to certain point it will be fixed term. After that it will become variable. Like your telephone bill or even electricity bill. Assume your electricity bill up to 50 units is same. After 50 units, for every unit they charge some amount. Even if you don't consume anything, minimum bill is like for 50 units, how much ever is there. Now in Karnataka, electricity is free. Okay, up to certain units, but I'm just giving an example. Assume guys, up to 50 units, they're charging 200 rupees. No matter how many units you consume, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 200 you have to pay. But if you consume more than 50, assume they are charging for every unit, 10 rupees. Here, now assume you have consumed totally 80 units. How much we have to calculate? 200 is for 50. For remaining 30, how much guys? 10. So that comes to 300. So what is my total bill? 200 plus 300. 5. Hope you're getting it. Partly fixed, partly variable. Partly fixed, partly variable. But when we're solving the question facts, this plays a major role. So we need to identify if the expenses is semi-variable. We need to find out how much is variable portion, how much is fixed portion. For that we have a formula. We will see that. Okay. By changes in activity, variability or behavior, fixed costs. These are the costs which are incurred for a period. They do not tend to increase or decrease with the changes in output. They remain constant. Fixed costs in total. The wording is same. Please be careful. Simply don't write fixed cost remain same. fixed cost in total remain constant, irrespective of the level of production. However, fixed cost per product or per unit decreases with the increase in production. Example, factory rent, insurance of factory building, etc. We can call all this as indirect outcomes because always this will be indirect in nature. Then coming to variable cost. Variable cost varies with, observe the keywords, varies with increase in the production. Any increase in the activity results in increase in the variable cost and vice versa. Clear? And if you want, you can also write total. Increase in what? Total variable cost. However, per product or per unit, variable cost will remain constant. Example, cost of direct material, cost of direct labor, etc. Example, what I gave was direct labor. For each unit, we need to consume how much, we need to work for how many hours? 5 days. For each hour, what is the payment? 100 rupees. So, direct labor cost 500. Is it a variable in nature? Yes. Next, semi-fixed or semi-variable. This cost contain both fixed and variable components and are thus partly affected by fluctuation in the level of activity. It remains fixed up to a certain point. Thereafter, it increases with increase in production. Example is telephone and electricity bill. And guys, for problems, that is for numerical question, whenever there is a semi-variable expenses, you need to find out how much is variable portion, how much is fixed portion. For that, what is the formula we will use? Change in the amount of expenses divided by changing the level of output. Clear? They would have given the data for 2 period or 2 years and all. You can accordingly take the figures and divide each other. Clear? Two figures would be there, minimum. If you divide each other, you will get it. You will get what? Variable cost per unit. Mention better. Variable cost per unit. Whatever we get through this formula is what? Variable cost per unit. Clear? Then if you multiply whatever you have got with number of units, what do you get? Total variable cost. Total variable cost. For example, guys, assume you got 10 rupees here. Number of units is 100. So what is your total variable cost? 1000. Now assume your total cost, semi-variable expenses is 1500. So minus 100 variable, what is the 500? Fixed cost. I repeat, 1500 is your total expenses. In that, how much is variable? 1000. Sir, how did I get this 1000? Per unit, I will find out first. Multiply it with number of units. We got total variable cost as 1000. If I reduce 1000 from 1500, what do I get? 500, which is fixed cost. Which is fixed element. Don't worry, we will consider this even while solving the questions and all. It is applicable while solving the questions. Or diagram wise also I have given. You can see your units and price or cost here. So fixed cost will always be a straight line, guys. Whether you produce 0 units or 100 units or 1000 units, fixed cost will be same. Whereas variable cost always will start from 0. If there is no production, 0 variable cost. As the production increases, even variable cost keeps on increasing. Clear? Whereas total cost will start from here. Because total cost means what? Fixed cost plus variable cost. Minimum fixed cost will be there, no? So that is why it will start from here. And from there it will take variable portion. Higher the number of units you produce, higher will be the total cost. Is that clear? And if you ask me, sir, how will the semi-variable look like? It will be like this. It will be like this. Up to certain point, it would be fixed. After that, it becomes variable. Clear? Yes. Next, by controllability. Controllable cost. Cost that can be controlled, typically by a cost or profit or investment center manager. Means if I can control the cost, then that cost is controllable cost. Controllable cost incurred in a particular responsibility center can be influenced by the action of executive. That is the person who is working there, heading the responsibility center. Example, raw material cost, labor cost. Guys, raw material cost, labor cost and all depends on how many units I produce. If I decide to produce more will be the raw material cost, more will be the labor cost. Clear? Yes. So if I can control some costs, that are called controllable costs. No, sir, no matter what, those costs are not in my control. Then we call it as uncontrollable cost. For example, rent of a factory building. Rent of a factory building. Now see, what I can decide is whether should I stay there or not. But if I'm staying there or if I'm working there, obviously whatever the owner demands, I have to pay. Is it in my control? No. Example, fixed cost like rent gas. So even when it comes to your preparation and all, guys, there are two things which are uncontrollable. Please don't waste time thinking on it. For example, this attempt, what will be the results? Okay, will they give more or less? Or question paper, will it be tough or easy? The last time, costing paper was easy or tough. This time, how it will be? Is it in your control? No. What you guys can do, only think about that. Then coming to normality. Guys, assume to produce 10,000 units, my cost was supposed to be 1 lakh. This is called normal cost. But I ended up incurring 1 lakh 20,000. 20,000 extra, which was not planned, unexpected. This we call it as what? Abnormal. If I have incurred something for which I am not planned for, which was not expected, then we call it as what? Abnormal cost as. Normal cost. Cost which is normally incurred at a given level of output under the conditions in which the level of output is normally attained. Okay, means to produce, assume for 10,000 I had planned to incur a cost of 10. If I actually produce 10,000, what will be my cost? This is called normal cost. If I end up incurring more than this, which is not expected or which is not planned, then we call that excess part as abnormal cost. Abnormal cost, the cost which is not normally incurred at a given level of output in the conditions in which that level of output is normally attained. It is charged to costing profit and loss account. So it is always charged to costing profit and loss. Any abnormal cost or abnormal loss will always be debited to costing profit and loss account. There are many other different types of expenses we will see. These are like miscellaneous, last, which are used for decision making. According to this basis, that is based on decision making, the costs are categorized into following guys. First three is one and the same guys actually. Even in ICA material, they have given it in like in different name. I have also given here, but I'm just telling you, please be careful. These three are one and the same. We just call it by different name. Okay, when a cost is calculated in advance, we call it as predetermined cost or standard cost, which is kept as the target also. Where under cost control, we used to decide. I guess I gave an example of 100 rupees. Yeah, that was nothing but the standard cost. Then estimated cost. Everything is one and the same. Let us go through what is it. Predetermined cost. Cost which is computed in advance before production or operation start on the basis of specification of all the factors affecting the cost, considering material, labor, overhead, everything. Then standard cost means a predetermined cost, starting with that only, same thing which we studied in first point, which is calculated from management's expected standard of efficient operation and relevant necessary expenditure. Yes, sir. It may be used as a basis for price fixation and also for cost control through variance analysis. Do we use it for cost control? Yes, sir. The first element there itself is the standard cost. This 100 rupees is nothing but the standard cost. Fine. Next, estimated cost. Kohler defines estimated cost as the expected cost of manufacture or acquisition, often in terms of unit of a product, that is per unit, computed on the basis of information available in advance of the actual production or purchase. Means what can be my purchase price per unit or what might be the production cost per unit. Next, marginal cost. Guys, marginal cost is nothing but variable cost. Sir, what is the cost of producing one unit or even selling it? Guys, it can also be called like this. Sir, what is the cost of producing one additional unit? What is the cost of producing one additional unit? For example, what is the cost? Assume for producing 10,000 units, I was incurring a cost of 10 lakh. Per unit, how much, guys? Per unit, how much? Per unit, how much? Divide 10 lakh divided by 10,000. Total cost to output. Ah, 100. Yes, sir. Now, assume, guys, I am producing 10,001 units. What will be my cost? 10 lakh 100, huh? No, because there will be fixed element. Assume it would be 10 lakh 60. 10 lakh 60. To produce one additional unit, what is the cost I have incurred? What is the cost, extra cost I have incurred? 60. That is called marginal cost. That is called marginal cost. Sir, here we got 100, no sir. Guys, that will include fixed element also. Fixed element also. So what is the cost per unit, which is variable in nature? 60. So how much is the cost which I incurred to produce one additional unit? 60 rupees. We call this as marginal cost, which is nothing but variable in nature. Guys, if I produce one additional unit, my cost increased by 60 rupees for one unit increase. What is that cost? Variable in nature. Because fixed cost, no matter how many units you produce, will remain same. So that increase in cost is obviously due to variable nature. Okay. You can see, I will just read it. It is an aggregate of variable cost. Prime cost plus variable over. That 60 rupees is nothing but variable in nature. It is also the cost of producing one additional unit. Next, opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what I have forgone, what I have lost. For example, I am working for my own company. I am not drawing any salary. But if I am working elsewhere, I will get 1 lakh salary per month. What is the opportunity I have lost? 1 lakh. Clear? Or else, I am using my own building for doing the business. If I let out this building to someone else, we will get 20,000 rent per month. But I am not charging any rent. What is the opportunity cost here? 20,000. 20,000. We also call it as notional cost. See, when I'm thinking from owner's point of view, this is an opportunity cost for me. Whereas when we are thinking from business point of view, we call it as notional cost. Clear? Listen here. If I had given this building to someone else, how much rent I would have earned? 20,000. It is an opportunity cost for me. Same way for business point of view. Now, if they have taken the building from someone else, how much rent they would have paid? 20,000. That they will consider it as notional cost. One and the same, but from two different perspectives. Clear? Same way. Salary, let us talk. If I am working elsewhere, how much salary will I get? 1 opportunity loss. Now, from company's point of view, if they are appointing someone else in my place, how much salary should they pay? 1 lakh. That is called notional cost. For business, can they consider notional cost? Yes. Only for calculation purpose to know what is their total cost. In costing, you can consider notional expenses. You can consider notional expenses. So, opportunity cost. Opportunity cost refers to the value of sacrifice made or benefit of opportunity forgone in accepting an alternate course of action. Now, by taking CA also, you have also done lot of sacrifices. You also forgone lot of things. Okay. Maybe here and there you will also feel guilty seeing your friends. Okay. They are enjoying doing full musty in their life. We are attending the classes full day, preparing and all. It's okay. You are achieving something big. You have to make certain sacrifices in this process. It is the amount that can be received if the asset is utilized in the next best alternative. Opportunity costs are not recorded in the books. It is important in decision making. In making decisions, can we consider it, sir? Yes. Nisarga, can we consider? Feeling hungry? Sure. Differential cost. Differential cost has been defined as the difference in total cost between alternatives calculated to assist decision making. Guys, see, I have two different alternatives to produce my product. A, B. If I go with alternate A, 10 lakh is the cost. If I go with alternate B, 12 lakh is the total cost. What is the difference in this cost? 2 lakh. Yeah. So what is the additional cost I will incur if I go with B? 2 lakh. Clear? Yes. So if I am comparing any two alternatives, if I find out what is the difference in total cost between them, that is called differential cost. Differential cost is the increase or decrease in the total cost resulting out of producing or distributing a few more or few less of the products. Even the marginal cost also I can call it as differential. Why is that? To produce 1 unit extra, what is the cost I am incurring? 60. Or a change in the method of production or distribution. Okay. Guys, let us also see for opportunity cost, there is one thing also here imputed, something connected to this. Just a different name. It is actually nothing but opportunity only imputed. Let us see that also as it is connected to opportunity. This cost are notional costs which do not involve any cash outflow. Should we pay to anyone? No. There is no cash outflow. This costs are similar to opportunity cost. This cost are similar to opportunity cost. For example, interest on internally generated funds means I have invested my own funds. If I have kept it somewhere, at least I would have got FD interest. Yes, I am losing that. Salaries of owners of proprietorship or partnership or notional rate. All these are the example. We consider it to make various decisions, but is there any cash outflow? No. Even implicit is something connected to this only. We will see. Implicit cost. This cost do not involve any immediate cash payments. They are not recorded in the books of accounts. They are also known as economic cost. Even for this, there is no cash outflow. So all these are one and the same, guys. Next, product cost. Product cost means the cost which we will use to value the products or inventory. So there are two techniques of costing under costing, right? Two techniques of costing that depends on the treatment of cost. That is marginal costing, absorption costing. Under marginal costing, we will take only variable manufacturing cost to value the product. Whereas under absorption costing, we take total manufacturing cost to value the product. Under absorption costing, my inventory will always be overwhelmed because we are taking one extra element while valuing the inventory cost, fixed manufacturing cost. Yeah, we have a separate chapter for this. We will learn them. Yeah, what is the difference between both? Next, period of cost. Sir, what is period cost? Period cost means which is incurred not based on production. It is incurred based on the period, like per month, per week. For example, rent what I pay per month, salary what I pay per month. We call it as period cost. And we will not include this in the valuation of the goods or inventory. Then what do we do with this, sir? Straight away debit it to costing P&L account. Yeah. So only the variable product cost or product cost we will consider it to value the product size. Oh. Then capitalized cost. Sir, whatever cost we have incurred to purchase an asset, like fixed asset or capital cost, we call that as capitalized cost, which we will capitalize and record it in the balance sheet. But over a period of time, we will take a part of it and write it off to P&L account in the name of what? Depreciation. Okay, entire amount we will not debit it in one shot. Over a period of time, a part of the cost we will take and debit it to costing P&L account in the name of depreciation. Then imputed cost we already see where there is no cash outflow. Whereas out of pocket cost means what? Sir, I have to spend, I have to pay for it. I have to pay for it. Because of this, my cash and bank balance will come down. Then even explicit cost means same. This costs are also known as out of pocket cost and refer to costs involving immediate payment of cash. This both are one and the same. Whereas imputed or implicit means no cash payment. So this is something notional in nature. We just consider it to make decisions, but there is no payment for it. Next, shutdown cost. First, shutdown cost means, sir, for 2-3 months, I don't have business. So I'm temporarily thinking to close my business for temporary period. Even if I close the business, there will be some cost which I will continue to incur. That is called shutdown cost. I'm not permanently shutting down my operation. Assume I'm doing seasonal nature of business. 9 months I will have business, 3 months I will close because I don't have any business. In that case, when I close down the business for 3 months, still I will continue to incur some expenses like rent or even for few employees I have to pay salary even though they are not working because they will have to continue working with me next year. No, I cannot remove them also. So those expenses we call it as what? Shutdown cost, which is continued to be incurred even after the temporary shutdown of the business. Please be careful. I am using the word temporary. It is not complete shutdown. Okay. Example of like any fixed expenses. Sunk cost. Sir, what is sunk cost? Well, sunk cost is something which is already incurred. It is almost irrelevant in my decision making because past we cannot change. So sunk cost is something which is already incurred. I cannot change it. We also call it as historical cost. So which has already happened. So I cannot change. It is irrelevant in my decision making. Then absolute cost. Whenever I am presenting the cost in totality, in total, sir, to produce 1,000 units, what is that total cost? Material, labor, overhead, everything. That is called absolute cost. Sir, can I present it per unit or as a percentage of total cost also? Yes, that is not called absolute. For example, guys, whenever we are preparing cost sheet, see, I can add one column, only one column, which shows total cost. Or else I can add one more column per unit. Yeah. So per unit is not absolute. Or else, for example, assume it is like this. Direct material, direct labor, overhead expenses. 5 lakh, 3 lakh, 2 lakh. So total expenses is how much? 10 lakh. Now if I show it as a percentage, how much is my material cost as a percentage of total cost? 50%. Labor cost, 30%. Overhead, 20%. We don't call this as absolute. This is expressed in percentage terms. How much is my each cost when compared to my total cost? How did we get 50%? 5 lakh divided by 10. How did we get 30%? 3 lakh divided by 10. Like that. Even the balance sheet items or P&L items we can present like this. Okay. How much is each item when compared to the total percentages? Yeah. Yes. Last one, discretionary cost. Discretionary cost means, sir, if I have enough money only, I will spend for it. Okay, I can decide based on my funds how much to incur for this purpose, like advertisement, research and development and all. Is it mandatory to incur this expenditure? No. If I have good amount of vitamin M, okay, only then I will plan for this. Clear? Higher the amount I have, then I will have a separate team only for R&D. And advertisement, sir, buy juice, you know how they spend left, right, center, everywhere they give advertisement. Today, bank. Okay, so if you don't plan your money well, this is what will happen. When you spend like anything, you got business, but you're not able to manage. Okay, by doing all this advertisement, they got some business, but they couldn't handle. Okay, they started selling the services, products to their parents. Okay, the main target was not children, parents. Okay, so Papa parents are in their busy life. Okay, they tried to capitalize that, but they couldn't manage their business for a long period. Oh, fine. Done with the type of cost. Okay, few more minutes. We'll just finish this chapter. Limitation or disadvantages of cost accounting. Limitations or disadvantages of cost accounting. Sir, what are those? One by one. Expensive. Sir, obviously we already have a separate accounts team or finance team. Now for maintaining cost records, we should have a separate team. For that, they will come with cost, or we should have a system, cost accounting system. Obviously, that will include an additional cost for us. Yes. Next, requirement of reconciliation. Guys, we have something called as cost accounting system in chapter 7. There we will read reconciliation. When I am supposed to maintain cost records, I have two set of books which I need to prepare. One is financial records to record financial transaction. The other one is costing records to record costing transaction, which will lead to two profit. One financial profit, the other one is costing profit. Will it be same, sir? No. There will be some difference in treatment. Yeah, majority of the transaction we record in both the books, but few transactions there will be a difference, which will lead to difference in profit. I need to reconcile it at the end of the year. Why there is a difference between financial profit and cost profit? Obviously, this is also extra work. Yes, sir. Next, duplication of work. Duplication of work means, right, majority of the transaction we will record in both the books, financial books as well as costing books. For example, purchase, or sales, or wages paid, or raw material purchase, or if there is any loss of raw material and all, we record in both the books. So that is leading to duplication of work. Duplication of work means same thing recorded twice or same thing done twice. Then inefficiency. Just having cost accounting system will not help you to reduce cost. You should implement it and work it as per that. Only then the cost accounting system can be efficient. Clear? Yes, because I have spent money, sir. Is it enough for cost department? No. You should ensure that they are working as per the plan. Next, methods of costing. Guys, there are different methods of costing available in the market or in the industry depending upon what work I am doing or what product I am manufacturing or what service I am rendering. I will choose the suitable method of costing for my company to calculate the cost of my work. That is the cost of the product or the cost of the service. So we will see one by one. I repeat once again, we use the method of costing for what purpose? To determine how much cost we are incurred. Guys, depending upon what work I am doing or what I am manufacturing, I can select the suitable method of costing for my company. Okay, it is optional for me. Whichever I want, I can choose. First one, unit or single or output costing. When I am producing one product on a continuous basis, then it is better to adopt what? The unit costing, where I will calculate first the total cost of my production divided by number of units, you will get per unit what is the cost. Then coming to job costing. Guys, when I am doing the work as per the customer specification, you will come and give me the order, only then I will work. Like motor workshop or printing press and all. So only when you give the work to me, I will do it as per your specification. In that case, I will follow what? Job costing. I want to calculate what is the cost of each and every job separate. So for each job, I will calculate what is the material cost, what is labor cost, overhead cost. Yeah. So what is my cost object here? Each job guys. Then coming to batch costing, it is an extension of job costing. When I'm producing the units in batches, like 100 units, 1000 units, 12 units, like dozen and all, we call it as batch costing. For example, tablet manufacturing or biscuit manufacturing. Sir, will they produce one unit? No, they will produce it in a batches. Clear? Assume the batch size is 100. Batch size is 100. It is a standard size. Each and every batch will have how many units? 100 units. So first our cost object is batch. We will calculate the cost of completing each batch. We will consider material cost, labor cost, overhead cost to complete a batch. Then we will divide the batch cost by number of units in the batch. You will get what? Cost per unit. Cost per unit. Hope you understand. First you calculate what is the total cost of the batch. Then divide the total cost of the batch by number of units. You will get cost per unit. You will get cost per units. Okay, sir. Next, contract costing. Guys, whenever I am doing any construction work, where I would have taken a contract, normally this will take more than 1 year to complete also. Assume I am a construction company engaged in construction of roads, bridges, or any apartments and all. Then for me, what is better to follow? Contract costing. I will treat each contract separately. I will prepare a separate contract account where I will record what is the cost of completing that particular contract. Maybe I will also give a different name for each contract. Okay, because I would have accepted number of contracts from different people. So for each contract, I will maintain a separate account where I will calculate what is the cost of completing each contract. Next, process costing. Guys, when I am following different process to convert my input into output, it is better to follow process costing. Assume in my manufacturing process, I am following three processes. Clear? Process P, Q, R. Now I want to know what is the cost of each process. So under process costing, what is the cost object is each process. I will calculate the cost of each process separately. So that at the end of the year, I can also evaluate the performance of each process. Then operating or service costing. These are normally followed by service rendering entities. Whoever is engaged in service like hospitals, education, transportation and all, they follow service or operating costing. Last one is multiple or composite costing. That is, when the same company is following multiple methods of costing, two or more, we call it as composite costing or multiple costing. For example, listen here. Sir, assume I am manufacturing part as well as my output. Parts is nothing like my inputs. For parts or inputs, I am following batch cost. Whereas for my output, I am following unit cost. Then both two methods I am following for two different things. One for input, one for output. Then I am set to following what? Multiple or the composite costing. Hope you are understanding. When same company is following two or more methods, we call it multiple or composite costing. And guys, please be careful. Here also you can get theory questions. For example, for 4 or 5 marks, they can tell explain any 5 methods of costing. Yeah, or else they will give you the industry. You have to tell which is the suitable method of costing for them. They will give various industries. You have to tell which is the suitable method of costing for it. You can see here. You can just have a look into this. I have given some examples. Nature of output. If series of processes are followed, which is a suitable method? Process costing. What do we do there? We will calculate the cost of each process separately. Example, textile, chemical, etc. Then construction of building. I am engaged in construction of building, which is a suitable method. Contract costing. By following the contract costing, what do? We calculate the cost of each contract separately. Which in industry will follow this? Real estate or construction companies. Then coming to similar units of single product produced by single process. Okay, single product is produced on a continuous basis, which is the suitable method. Unit costing. Here, what do we calculate? We will calculate the cost of the entire activity, but average for the output. Average for the output means what? Simple. First calculate total cost, including all the elements, then divide it by number of units. What will you get? Cost per unit on an average. Okay. Example, cool drinks, bricks, coals, etc. Next, if you are rendering the services, then which is the suitable method of costing for you? Operating costing. What do you calculate here? Cost of rendering the services. Example, hospital, transportation, educational, charitable, all those things will come up. Next, customer specification, single unit. As per customer specification, you are doing the work, which is the suitable method, job cost. What do you calculate here? Cost of completing each job or each task. Example, advertising, printing press, motor workshop, etc. Last one, consisting of multiple varieties of activities and processes, which is the suitable method, multiple costing. Multiple costing is not a separate method of costing, guys. When you are following two or more, we call it as multiple costing. Is it a separate method of costing? No. Combination of any method like unit, batch, or job batch, anything like that. Example is cars. And even here, guys, when they have given the question in your exams, like 5 industries they have given and asked you to answer, which is the most suitable method of costing. For few industries, you might feel that, sir, both can be suitable. Sir. Both can be suitable. For example, batch job, something like that. If you feel two or more, give it, no problem. If you feel anyone which is more suitable, you give that. Clear? Even in our regular class, we have discussed number of examples because most of the time same thing will repeat. Okay. So whatever we have discussed, most of the time same thing will repeat, or by chance one new thing came. You just decide. If you are confused about two methods, better mention both of them. Okay. Yes. So this is car assembly. Next, techniques of costing. Right? Students get confused between methods and techniques. Method is different, technique is different. Method is all about ascertaining the cost. How much cost I have incurred. To calculate my cost, sir, which is the suitable method we will adopt as per the work what we are doing. Whereas techniques of cost is more about treatment of cost, which will help you to make decisions, not to calculate your cost, but to make decisions. So this is helpful for making decisions, guys. Please be careful. The following techniques of costing are used by the management for controlling and making managerial decisions. Okay, so that means this is used for decision making purpose. One by one. First, historical costing. Historical costing means, sir, cost is already incurred. Can we change this? Divya, can we change this? No. That means, is it relevant for my decision making? No. This is something which has already happened. I cannot change it. So, it is not in my control. It is irrelevant for my decision making. Next, standard costing, cost control. Sir, what do we do under standard costing? We will set a standard at the beginning of the period. Then as and when we do the actual work, we will calculate the actual cost, compare it with standard and see if there is any variance. And if there is any variance, we will try to find out what is the reason for it. Controllable, uncontrollable, or adverse or favorable. Especially if it is adverse, we need to take necessary actions, guys. Then marginal costing. Guys, marginal costing is a technique where they believe that only variable cost is in my control. So any decisions I will take is with respect to variable cost. When I reduce variable cost from my sales, we get something called as contribution. So they make decisions based on contribution, but not based on profit. Guys, there is a format, okay, which we will follow. Sales minus variable cost will give us contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost will give us profit. See, under marginal costing, they completely ignore the fixed cost because it is not in my control. They only believe in variable cost because, sir, if I take any decisions, it will influence only variable cost. So any decisions under marginal costing, they will make it based on what? Variable cost or contribution. Clear? Yes. Even while valuing the product, they will take only variable manufacturing cost to value the products. Whereas absorption costing is opposite to marginal costing. Sir, what is absorption costing is telling us cost is cost, sir. Whether it is fixed or variable, it doesn't matter. Okay, I have incurred it, consider it. And absorption costing is used only for external reporting purpose. That is for income tax purpose or even in your accounts and all. Have you ever seen what is variable, what is fixed and all? No, you just record the total cost. Clear. So marginal costing is more about internal decision making, whereas absorption costing is for external reporting purpose. They are not bothered about variable or fixed or controllable or uncontrollable. They don't care about it. Cost is cost, record it. That's all. Oh. Uniform costing is like me and my competitor. We both are working for the same industry. Yes. Now we both came together and we decided let us follow same method of costing or same principles methods so that at the end of the year it will be easy for us to compare us. Clear. So we are following the same method of costing, same principles, same concepts so that at the end of the year we can compare ourselves. Is that clear? And this is possible only if you both are from the same industry. Okay, for example, Infosys HCL, can they do this? Yes. Infosys TCS? Yes. Sir, can go Infosys go and do it with HUL? No, because they are not from the same industry. Yes. Let me read that uniform costing. A technique where standardized principle and methods of cost accounting are employed by a number of different companies and firms in the industry is termed as uniform costing. This helps in comparing performance of one firm with the other. The last topic in this chapter, that is digital costing system, that is introducing or inculcating the technology in the costing bus to bring integration. For example, assume there is a digital costing system which is introduced in or implemented in our company. Now the top level manager or CEO can access all the information from all the departments. Now production manager will be given access only to enter his data. Sales manager only to enter his data. Purchase manager to enter only the purchase related data. Now, using all this, can the top level management access all this information sitting in one place? Yes. Sir, should they visit the production department? Should they visit the sales department to know all this? No. Sitting in one place, they can access all the information. That's the power of technology. Now, you guys also sitting in one place, can you watch the classes? Yes, anywhere. That is how the recorded classes or even YouTube and all is working. Yeah. So this is the power of the digitalization. And it is actually helpful to the extent possible. Companies are trying to bring even automation in their software or through systems so that they can reduce the human intervention. Yeah, yes. So this is all about the first chapter.